Hey, this is Anthony Pirelli, and we're on the Billion Bet podcast. Today I got Christian in.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course. It's, man, I mean, we didn't meet that long ago, only about a month ago, through a kind of a buddy slash teammate of ours, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Mentor to maybe both in one way or another.
100%. Yeah, we met through Ed. He's out in Westmont. He also does mobile mechanics, similar to me. He's got a real good service. If anyone's listening out that way, give him a call.
Absolutely. But don't try him during the day or leave him a message because he does not have a mobile phone.
He's landline only.
Yeah. The old school way.
Of course. So how's college been going?
It's good, man. So for you guys who don't know me, I'm Christian Schloegel. I'm out of the western suburbs of Chicago as well. And I'm actually a full-time college student, as well as I have a landscaping and snow removal business. So I currently attend Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. It's about 2 hours, two and a half hours away from here. And I usually am there Tuesday through Friday or Saturday. I'll stay for the weekend if there's like a football game going on. But yeah, it's been a good, it's fun. It's a good change of pace. I'm learning. I'm making a lot of good connections. They have like career fairs there, and not that I'm interested in a career because I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own gig, but everybody from the big companies are there. You can make great connections. A lot of the big guys from like Caterpillar and other stuff that's related to our industry. Okay. I think it's pretty cool. And it's good to just meet new people and get out of the suburbs. Been here 21 years of my life, and just kind of experience new stuff. I went to community college here for 2 years, so I'm a junior. I transferred to Purdue as a junior to eliminate having to take out loans. I won't have to take out any student loans, pay for everything in cash, save my money at the community college, and get out of the way all those gen ed classes. But yeah,
of course, I did the same exact thing.
Totally, it's worth it.
Yeah, and the interest rates now are like 11-12%.
It's brutal.
Oh,
it's brutal. Yeah, I mean, I cannot imagine taking out a student loan out on something that's not like very, particular. Like if you're going to go be a lawyer, going to be a doctor, and get your master's, PhD, but like, for business, it's like unless you have something really lined up, I don't know, it's just a big financial responsibility, especially if I didn't have the business.
And it's the only thing that's unforgivable.
Well, that's debatable, right? They're trying to, but yeah, that's very true. I don't know. It's just something people have looming over their heads for years on end, and they want financial freedom till like their mid 30s. I mean, can you imagine that? And it's like it's not something that's tangible either. And a lot of these students who graduate don't work hard enough to make the connections and go into something that's useful, right? So I mean, I'm a strong believer in school and education, but it's about you and what you like do with it, right? So I go to Purdue now, I'm seeing everything of the big college life, and I see tons of opportunities every week for students to make networking connections, meet with others. The CEO of Intel is coming to our school in a week or two. It's like you just don't get those opportunities anywhere. And it's like if you're an engineering student or a computer software student, why wouldn't you go, right? There's 400 companies hiring engineers 3 weeks ago at the engineering fair. If you're a student, school's a great choice if you take advantage of the networking opportunity there. And that's what I think a lot of students aren't there for. They're there to party, have a good time, which I get. But you got to take it seriously as well. Otherwise, it's not a good investment.
Definitely. And a lot of those opportunities people kind of miss out on because they're just trying to, get by and get through it.
Totally.
I even know for me, like a part of me is kind of upset that I didn't fully, apply myself when I was going through college, and I kind of just, skipped through it.
Right.
And there's certain things like accounting I paid attention in, saved my ass because,
right.
I got to do my taxes.
For sure.
But some of these like networking and IT classes, just a little over my pay grade.
Yeah, for sure, right? I mean, so that's why I think it's important that's why I went to community college, to get all the gen eds out of the way, because it was like a grind time. I went to school, went home, worked, and I just kind of got done what I needed to get done. And now I was able to, hire the right guys in place so I could leave and my business still operates while I'm gone. Come back on the weekend to sell work, but I can focus on the juicy classes that are there, the 300, 400 level classes with the good professors, with the smaller class sizes. I'll have time to do the networking opportunities, and that's why I'm really happy with my plan. And I pay the same now as I would have for the first 2 years of gen eds, where I paid almost very little at community college. I mean, I saved myself like 70, 80 grand.
Yes.
That's a lot of money,
especially when you're going to Purdue.
Yeah. I mean, Big Ten schools are expensive, and any SEC, any bigger schools, they're expensive. So you just got to make it worth it.
Definitely. And after you're done with college, so you got 2 years, are you gonna fully transition back into your landscape business, do you think?
So yes, but I currently still am fully in my landscape business. So I have 5 full-time guys,
Okay.
and I have a supervisor, foreman, 3 laborers. So I come back on, for 1 to 3 days every week, and sell work on the weekends, meet with clients, kind of keep things going, do a lot of the back end of office work, and then they get the work done during the week, and I stay for Monday. I don't have class Monday. I got my classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I get the flexibility where I get one day of the work week where I can connect with clients, meet with people, and then they get the work done during the week, and I come back on the weekend and get things going again, get the next week set up, and it worked really well. And taught me a lot about delegation. And I always know, for entrepreneurs, it's very hard to delegate because you take your baby, right? I started my business when I was 11, 10 years ago. I'm wrapping up my year number 10, and when you take your hands off your baby and you kind of let it go and run itself a little bit, it's really hard, but I had no other choice because I knew, look, I'm going to Purdue, I'm going to be out of town, and I need to hire supervisors, hire somebody who can basically take care of the operations, just like the basic level, keeping things going, making sure all the tools are in the right trucks at the right time, managing what materials are in which truck. Is this truck got debris? Is this truck got mulch? What machines where? Is it loaded? And that's like something that tedious tasks that I was doing every day because I was here. It's like, okay, I'll save my money, right? I save myself, whatever, 40, 50, 60 grand on hiring somebody. I can do it myself, right? But that's all stuff that's so basic that for somebody like me, I can focus on, if I delegate that to my awesome supervisor, I can go sell work. And I'm big on snow, so I'm working really hard on selling a lot of snow work and doing like all the creative stuff that entrepreneurs should be doing.
Of course. What is your number one thing you've taken away from delegating, and like maybe something that you didn't expect would come from it?
I think that, it really does drive. It's obviously it costs a lot more. It's something I expected, but the reality is like it does. There's somebody who is now because I'm a big believer in reinvesting, right? So I don't pay myself too much so that I can reinvest a lot of the money in the business. So now I got somebody who's making a bunch of money, and I have to account for that in my costs, right? So that's something that it's a harsh reality that I gotta adjust accordingly. Something I didn't expect, I guess, was I just didn't expect how smoothly it would go. I mean, I really am pleased with how well our crew is working right now, and I'm really blessed that we've got a great crew, great guys, and the dynamic works really well. And sometimes they even prefer if you're not there. Like if you just let them do their thing, and you just have, as long as you have work and consistent, so that they can make money, and you kind of get out of their hair a little bit. Like sometimes the guys prefer that. Like instead of being so micromanagerial. Because it's hard if I'm here every day, it's like I kind of want to be involved, like to be more efficient, right? But if I just kind of go hands off, they just do their thing and they get the work done. As long as they're getting work done and making money, I'm happy.
100%. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot goes into how you're hiring these people, where you're finding them, because not everybody has these amazing teams established yet. Where were you looking when you were hiring this team, and did you always have in the back of your mind that you wanted them to be able to self-sustain themselves almost, or self-manage, I should say?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been a goal of mine since, that's why I had a plan when I was in high school. I said, I'm going to go to community college 2 years, and then I'm going to have, during that 2 years at community college, I'm going to build systems and people up in place so that I can go to my last years at school, at a farther away school, and they can, self-sustain most of the week without me, right? And so that was my plan, and it's worked wonderfully so far, and not without hiccups. Kind of going in the summer, I had some turnover, but it was all for the best. And now I have an even stronger team, and it just worked out really well. I can't complain at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked out really well, and we're getting work done. We're having good production. Besides all the rain we've had the last couple of weeks and coming, you probably know about that. But yeah,
For sure. The rain definitely, it makes the grass grow though. My dad's happy.
It does. I mean, I was talking to Ed. He said he's slam busy, and I don't know about you, but as long as the grass growing, you guys are gonna be busy.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's picked up actually. It was a little slow, like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, but now it's like summer again with this little hot spell we had.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So now what are you majoring in college?
I'm in business management, so a lot of it will help me with kind of running the back end of the business, and a lot of the classes I'm going to be getting into next semester and in the year, and throughout next year, of a lot of the financial classes and all that. But I do have a couple of really interesting classes that I'm taking, and I'm enjoying it. But as I said, for me, like, networking is the most important thing. I think your network is your net worth. And kind of going back to the last question you asked, all of my guys I found one way through my network. Almost all my snow clients I find through my network one way or another, like referrals. Oh, so and so does snow removal, you should give them a call. Like, networking is so huge to me. It's the most important part of my business. I mean, I would say over half of my business revenue is, if not more, is attributed to through my network. Somebody referring me. If something goes down, I've got like 3 or 4 other landscapers I can call, like, hey, can I borrow your weed whacker or whatever, borrow your skid steer to load a truck, whatever it is. Networking is just so important to me. And, that's a big part of, of the school, is kind of seeing things at a different view, stepping back, kind of getting out of this bubble of the western suburbs and kind of seeing the real world, but also kind of seeing, what other people my age are doing. And, I just kind of taking things day by day. But yeah, the classes are pretty cool. I've got a couple. I still have a couple I'm knocking off that are kind of more tedious ones, but I do have a couple really interesting classes that are cool and help me see things in a different way, especially since like business owners, we can kind of see a lot of things because we've done stuff for so long. At least I've been doing this for quite a while. I'm used to doing things my own way, and it really opens you up and kind of like they kind of tear you off, break you down, and build you back up, and help you kind of see things in a different light. And even if I can take away 30% of what I learn there, I'll be really happy, and to see things and improve in a new way.
That's cool. And I know you were talking about like Cat and some of those other big names come to your school. Mm-hmm. Have you been able to acquire any new partnerships through that sort of thing?
I've not been able to acquire new partnerships yet. I have actually a local pest control company that I networked with at the business fair that I may be able to send leads to, and they can send me some snow leads because they do commercial pest management. So, they do like warehouses, industrial stuff. So I went up to them, their table, talked with them for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And those are, even they're looking for interns, right? These whole companies are looking for interns, but I try to see what ways I can benefit my business. I went up to like home builders. I went up to, trucking companies to see if I can get their like, terminals to plow, right? So I see stuff as everything's an opportunity, through your network, even if it's probably a no, right? But 10 no's to a yes. I mean, that's a great ratio for me for getting good stuff, right? So that's that's how it's gone so far. I hope to continue to build relationships, and I'm sure that I'll get a really great partnership out of it sometime. But yeah.
That's great. I'm really like at first I didn't realize how the numbers game really mattered that much because I'd go and pass out like a few flyers and talk to a few people, but then once I realized like, man, like you gotta do way more, because if your competition is just doing the minimum and you're doing the minimum, you're never gonna get ahead of them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If you want extraordinary results, you got to be able to put in an extraordinary effort.
Exactly. And with the commercial plowing, do you do that mainly over residential?
So we still do residential, and it all kind of comes out to how what sites do you get? It's It's really tough because every year snow bids go out for bid again, and it's always lowest bidder, as long as the service is apples to apples. So you kind of don't know until between now and early November of what sites you're going to get. So, but what I've done over the last couple of years is transition my business more towards commercial because of multiple reasons. With commercial snow removal, you can salt. So we do mostly zero tolerance contracts. So that means we salt when you get like a trace of snow, anything that's slick that could be, icy, refreeze. If it rains and then it drops the temperatures, black ice can form. That means we can salt. So it's keeping my guys busier because, in the winter, there's not as many hours opportunities, not even close as landscaping. So it keeps my guys busier. It brings us more cash flow in the winter months, which we need. And also, we can salt multiple times. We can plow, for like strip malls, you want to keep the lanes open and plowed throughout the day, or for industrial, you got to keep, the loading docks clear so trucks can safely get in the main areas. So yeah, commercial is a lower tolerance and higher service need. So it provides more cash flow, keeps our guys busier, and and everybody happier overall. We still do residential, and last year I still had 80 driveways residential, and it was a big commitment, but we did like 70-30 with 70% commercial, 30 residential maybe in revenue, and it was a pretty poor winter, but we did have a lot of salting occurrence, which saved us. I mean, it would have been difficult without the all the salting. So I love the commercial. And one way you can protect yourself is if you do it right, you have the right caps. So like between like a 38 and 50 inch cap in your contracts.
What is a cap?
So 50 inch, basically it's like the amount of snow that you get, right? If you have a seasonal contract, let's say you have X amount per month for 5 months. If you exceed that number, then it goes to T&M or per occurrence again. So one way we can protect ourselves is by getting seasonal contracts. So basically it's a bet for the client, but they get to have a nice number for their budget. So with seasonal contracts, we can protect ourselves by getting, basically you have to average out how many occurrences you think you're going to be plowing and how many you're going to be salting. You get your average number. So in winters that are below normal, we make out better because we have less service. And above average winters, the client makes out better because we had more service, and they would have paid more by doing per occurrence or T&M. So that's how it works.
Okay. And most of these are seasonal contracts you try to bet on? Or
I try. It's good to have a good balance. It's trying to bid. It's good to have a good balance. So I try to go with like 50-50 if I can. 50% seasonal, 50% per occurrence, so that in high volume winters, when we don't go over our caps, we still have the per occurrence stuff to bring up more revenue, right? And if you're all seasonal and you have a high winter but you don't go over your caps, then you're like at that margin where you're making the least amount of money.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So if we get to 48 inches, then you're still you're still going to make money, but not as much. In like the best case scenario is we get a whopper storm at the beginning of the year, and then get to that 50 inch cap or wherever we're at pretty quickly, so then we can have like the most amount of months with the T&M or per occurrence.
I see.
Which is very unlikely, but that's the best case scenario.
I see.
But that's why it's good to have per occurrence or T&M and seasonal kind of separate, because if you do have, if you get up to close to the cap but don't exceed it, then that's going to be very expensive. You're not going to make as much, but you still have the per occurrence stuff to bring your revenue up, and you're going to be making a lot of money because you've been out for, 48 inches would be like, 20 plows and 30 salts. So you're going to be making good money regardless. So yeah, that's how you can protect yourself with snow removal. And honestly, like I would say like between 1 and 5% of the time of snow removal is actually doing the work itself. The rest is selling, prep, and post year cleanup, because you got to make sure everything's greased. You got to make sure everything works. This stuff breaks because it's in the cold.
Clean it.
We wash our trucks and all our machines down after every storm. The salt, keep the salt off of it. We also, there's a lot of like selling work. I mean, I would say I probably get, when I do cold calling or anything, I probably get 10 no's to a yes. When I get, leads within my network, I probably, maybe get 30% of them. But yeah, right now it's really busy for snow, and we kind of figure out what we're all getting in the next week or two probably.
And that's incredible that you cold call for snow.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just got to go look at, like, figure out property managers. Go look, like, if you go down the road, you see, like, a strip mall. Usually at the bottom of the sign, there's, like, a name for the property management company. You call. It's highly unlikely you'll get it, but if you get one, it's worth it.
Wow. What other creative ways do you go about advertising or getting jobs?
Honestly, I just actually launched a website about in August, and I've started to get leads from that, which has been great. Especially got a couple commercial leads. Prior to August, the prior 10 years of my business have been completely word of mouth. Like,
Okay.
not like small stuff here and there in the community, whatever, through my church, through, sponsoring stuff at the middle school, whatever, like events, but that's more of just for contribution. But basically word of mouth for 10 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Other than that, I guess, I got the website now, so I've started to get leads from that. I try to get reviews. I've got, like, I don't know, 17 or 18 five-star reviews, so that's really important. It's very competitive here. The landscaping space is very competitive, and snow removal is very competitive business. So, honestly, it's all about your network, who you know, and, do you know guys who don't do snow but do landscaping? Tell them, yeah, hey, look, send me any leads you got my way, and I'll send you some leads your way in landscaping, that type of thing.
I see. And in regards to the competition, how do you fight or compete with the guy next door who's charging $5-10 less?
Well, for landscaping, we we do maintenance. We do full service maintenance as well for our clients. And if you're just doing mowing, you're not my client. So that's where you're going to get the discrepancy. And it happens, you lose clients to guys who are underbidding you. But right now, I mean, every year our costs are going significantly, between 10 and 20%, the last 2 years, and it's still getting more expensive. And initially that's because of the gas, diesel prices, and all that, material costs. The price of grass seed doubled. If somebody is nickel and diming me over a couple bucks on a lawn mow, you're not my client. I mean, I hardly even make anything on mowing anyways. You could make good money mowing yourself, but when you hire a full crew and you have $150,000 of equipment, that's when it's hardly anything. And that's fine though, because it's not a loss, but it's almost like a loss leader, like at Costco. Go to get those chickens in the back, right? $5 chickens, but you get everything on the way. For me, we do mowing in full service so that we can get the landscaping installation projects, the planting, mulch is nice, consistent work every spring, the cleanups to keep our guys busy. We make money on the other stuff. That's how I see it. But yeah, if you're nickel diming me over a couple bucks on the mowing, you're out of there.
Yeah, get out.
And we have a very dense service route. I mean, I would say from one side to the other, probably about like 4 miles, maybe 5 miles from all my lawns. So basically within one side of the other, you drive 10 minutes. And we don't do a lot of lawns anymore. We just do it for clients who we serve all year with landscaping.
I see. And these clients then are getting patios and other services from you guys?
Yeah, so I'm starting to get into hardscaping, but we don't do a ton. I refer a lot of that work out to other guys or sub it, but primarily I refer it. But we do all the planting around it. So like we'll do a lot of enhancements with planting, privacy hedges, flowers, renovating new lawns, or I'll subcontract the patio out and I'll do all the plantings around it. And they'll do the patio, and it's a kind of collaboration. For me, if I do something, I want to do 100%, right? And patios are one of those things where you got to do a really good job. You want to be really meticulous, and you're gonna put your name on something. It better be damn good, right? So, and especially with you want to stand behind your product with your warranty the patios, and people are spending whatever 20, 30, 40, 100,000 on an outdoor living area, and it's not something I personally enjoy a lot, but if I did do it, I want to make sure it's really good. And I would need another crew and somebody with a really detailed eye. And that's just not where I am right now. But maybe eventually.
That's totally understandable. I worked landscaping for quite a while, and the patios are really, really meticulous.
It is, and you're baking in the sun all day. You're really never in the truck because you're just sitting there in the sun.
Yeah, and you're on your hands and knees.
Exactly. So for me, when I did a couple patios, for me, it wasn't particularly fun. And if it was, I would pursue it more. We do more repair. We'll pull up an area, pavers, put new, compact screenings, relay them, polymeric sand, or pressure wash, polymeric sand, and seal. So we'll do like the more maintenance. I like that. It's good money. It's primarily labor for like pressure washing. It's good money. But the installs are where you want to have a really nice base. You got to compact your subsoils, get all the base in, pavers, whatever you're doing, retaining walls. And around us, it's not like people are getting like basic patios. We got some pretty nice houses by us, and if people are doing it, they're doing it, right?
Yeah, they're getting water features, fire features. You got the gas you have to plumb in there,
Exactly.
Electricity. It's all underlit.
Exactly. So
yeah.
that's where it's good to know other guys who you can refer, and it's not it's a two-way street. If I get somebody sends me snow leads or planting leads, I'll send somebody else a lead on the hardscaping, or I'll sub it, and we kind of all work really well together. It's a cool part of the green industry is we work really well together, and it's kind of crazy. Like people who are entering the green industry don't really realize like how well people work together, because there's plenty of work. There's always going to be work.
So much work.
There is a lot of work, and it's about being connected with the right people. And I don't know if you find that the same in your business. And how I met you with Ed, like Ed didn't have to do that. He's kind of showing you kind of how he's been around a while. He knows a lot, and it's like it's friendly, right?
It's the same exact thing in my company. I met Ed. Another one like Kips you might have heard of out on Ogden Avenue in Lisle. They send me business because they only do like very specific stuff.
Right.
But I'll send them business too, and I even go there, bring like donuts and stuff sometimes.
Right.
Because it's kind.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they're sending me plenty of work, right? So
right.
Gotta return the favor, of course.
Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. You gotta go above and beyond for those who send you work, and in whatever way. And that's the cool thing is that in this industry there's a lot of stuff going on, so we can refer. I refer Ed regularly to, like, if my own clients, if we do like our mulching, cleanups, dethatching, aeration at our clients, and they want to mow themselves, then I'm happier even. And if their mower goes down, they'll hit me up, say like, hey, you know where to repair it, and I'll refer Ed. So it's always it's all about your network.
Oh yeah, and people, I've been asked plumbing questions. Like, I'm no plumber, but if I knew a plumber, bam,
Right.
there's a reference right there.
Totally. And I try to especially for new homeowners who are like looking for work, I'm like, do you need any other connections? Like, I know somebody for a lot of stuff, plumbing, roofing, concrete, asphalt, whatever it is, seal coating, I can send them a contact and help somebody else who I know does good work and runs a good business get work.
And that also makes you more credible.
Totally. Yeah, if they see a guy like me who we do landscaping, maintenance, and snow, and they're like, oh well, he gave me this great contractor and this great contractor. They're like, well, they're gonna be even more willing to refer me, and they know that I've well established in the community and I'm respectable because I care about more than just myself.
Yeah, 100%. And your work shows. You do really high quality stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think at this point, I'm really happy because most of my guys do most of the work. And it's just crazy to, it's not crazy because I worked really hard to get to this, but it is awesome to see your efforts pay off because, there's a lot of really tough times in entrepreneurship of having your business. And it's nice to see, some of that payoff, especially, but it's not time to ease up on the gas. It's time to keep going, to keep growing, and every year, it's even more motivating to me to keep growing, and working on the business.
I think the first part about that, when you're like, wow, the business is actually working, is such a nice feeling. But then the second part is just, man, like sometimes you get too engulfed in that nice feeling and it starts to go away. And it's like, well, I got to hustle even harder.
Totally. I kind of like to see things as like little rewards, right? So recently I got a new truck and I really, really proud of that. It's my dream truck. It's a really nice truck. And it's something that I didn't want to, I got it, I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it. And, but it's a work truck. It's still, and, I'm not going to just sit there all day, look at it, like post pictures. Oh, it's a great truck, and just think about it, right? It's another tool I have in my fleet that I can plow this winter. Now I got to keep going. And, I enjoy it, but it's not something that, I can't just ease up now that I got my dream truck. Time to keep going and, go from there.
Yeah, and ultimately it's for work, right?
Totally.
It's purpose driven. You
Totally.
got it for a reason.
Yeah, I got a nice truck because I need more trucks for the snow plowing this winter, and I got a little higher trim truck. I got diesel engine because I commute to school a lot too, so it's great mileage. Well, the diesels are awesome.
What kind of gas mileage are you getting?
You get like 21, 22
Wow.
for F350.
For an F350,
Like it weighs like 8,000 pounds or something.
some big old tires.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and I like drive itself almost. It's got some nice features in there. So
Really? Does it got the wheel that stays in the line?
yep, it's got that. As long as you have your hands on the wheel, basically like turns it, and it's like a adaptive cruise control or something. It's a Ford thing, I guess. They just brought it to the Super Duties this year, but yeah, it's a nice truck.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I saw the light kit you got put on it.
oh yeah, I always like put a lot of strobes in my stuff, and especially it's a huge safety thing in the winter. Like it's very expensive, the strobe lighting and all that, and the floodlights, but in the winter, we're in some pretty precarious situations with plowing. We're going back and forth, going the wrong way. We're pulling out in the traffic. We're all over the place in these parking lots, and it's really important that people see us. And I take safety very seriously, especially in the winter. We can't risk any accidents, so it's expensive. Those lights are, you could buy a nice used car in itself with the cost of those lights, but it's well worth preventing an accident and being safe.
Yeah, safety is key. And I even noticed the Super Duty's got like some new steps and stuff in them, and your installation guy was able to kind of hide the lights.
Yep, got a light in the 2 pockets in the front, 2 in the back. I think it's like 8 total, maybe. So only got the floodlights. So yeah, but it's expensive, but it's because I do it like the right way the first time. Spend the money, get the whatever. You have a nice truck and trailer. You got all your stuff there. You're not like needing to go back to get stuff because you got like almost a good enough setup, right? Like your setup's good. You don't have to worry about it. Everything's there. You probably spend a lot more than you're hoping to initially, but it's all there every time you need it. And that's how I see things. Is like for being 10 years in, I could have a lot more junky trucks and just have like a lot. I could have a lot of $30,000 trucks, $20,000 trucks. But my trucks are really purpose built, right? Like my trucks are well equipped with safety lights, toolboxes. I have crew cabs. They're all custom crew cabs, so that I can fit all my guys in there for landscaping and snow. The long beds, I can get big salters in, and they're not cheap. They're low mile, nice vehicles because that's how I want. I want something that's really reliable. Respectfully, I don't want to see the mechanics very often, and I really. That's just how I carry myself is less is more, and I want stuff that will turn on every time I need it to. And it's not cheap, but it's the way I believe.
Big secret. I don't like to see the mechanics that often either. I used to have a 1990 van, like a step van, like one of the Amazon trucks.
Yeah.
And it was low mileage. It ran beautifully and everything, but man, like just make me nervous, and you're talking about, was it a good setup or is it a great setup?
Right.
It was a good setup, but this is now a great setup.
It's a great
right?
setup, right?
And I got the warranty and everything. Right. So just like your truck, if something happens, for example, my office is here at a fish warehouse, and they had a transmission go out on their brand new box truck. It's an F650.
Wow.
The transmission, is a couple grand plus labor.
Oh yeah.
They got a brand new one at, I think it was like 40, 50,000 miles.
Right.
So
yeah, the warranties are key. I got an extended warranty in my truck just so I extra protected. Right, as you said, you want, if you're gonna do it right.
Exactly, especially with all these like DEF systems and stuff now.
That's what I was saying. I spent a couple grand on extended warranty, but if a DEF system goes out, I think it's one of my buddies spent $3 or $4 grand on the DEF system. So I spent a couple grand on the extended warranty, gets me through 150,000 miles, non-wearables. But the DEF system goes out, I'm covered. I was like, spend the more of the money up front if you can, so that in the long run you're covered.
And 150,000 miles on a landscaping truck is, especially if your service area, is pretty compact.
That's a lot. That'll get me wild. I'll probably trade it by the time then, but it's always good to be protected.
Yeah, and that's another thing I've learned is that the amount of time you spend on like these decisions or the amount of space they take up in your head. Like with the van, I was thinking, man, like this thing could break down. I was worried about it. I'd have to take extra time to let it warm up and all these other things. Now it's like, well, you spend a little bit of money, but you can also now sell your service being more expensive because it's higher quality.
Right.
Because you could tell the client, well, you could go hire Joe Schmo to do commercial grass cutting, but all my guys have driver's license. They're all insured. We have brand new trucks. We're not going to break down. We're not going to miss a week.
Right.
We're going to be there every time, on time.
Right.
And it's the same way I run my business, and people call me back. So it's
You have a
something.
professional looking setup, right? And as crazy as it sounds, a lot of clients do care about what trucks are in front of their house every week. Like, they don't want the perception of their neighbors, like, oh, he's got Chuck in a truck down there, right? You know, they've got CNI, they got, you know, so and so, right? There's a lot of great companies around here who have really good, you know, like images, and people pay for that. You know, that's part of what they pay for, and they don't want, you know, 1999 Beater, Chevy, whatever, you know. And no hate to anybody who has that, but at least in our area, the more premium clients do actually care about what landscape is in front of their house, because when their girlfriends walk by, they don't want to be seen with, you know, some raggedy truck. And to me, it doesn't matter. I don't really, as long as the work looks good at the end, right? But to the clients who have premium money to spend, it does. And that's whatever the clients say is, you know, care about is what's important to me, right?
100%. And that's what people don't. People target people they're like most similar, like, and you know, a lot of people then they just go for like, oh, they just want the middle class clients. They just want, you know, to get by. They want to, you know, make $30 a lawn because that's all they need. But if you're trying to give someone a premium product and you're saying like, this patio I can warranty, like this roof job we can warranty.
Right.
You know, these are quality things. People will pay more for those things, and it's sometimes about like breaking the mindset. Like I thought, well, I can't charge Ed, for example. The first time I ever talked to Ed, he was yelling at me because I was charging too little.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ed charges a good amount of money,
But
it's worth it, right? Yeah. So Ed will get on you, and those guys who really care about you will get on you.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's totally.
But he's right. Like I started charging a little bit more, but I started providing a way better quality of service.
Right.
Like when I had the van, I was buying oil at Menards, and now I use like a specialized distributor, and
Right.
you know I only use the best oil, just like Ed does.
Right. Yeah. No. Totally. You have some dealers like real close to here. One big one in particular that's that'd be very advantageous for you because it's about a 30-minute drive for me.
They're
the big
pretty
R.
expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it is nice. Then again, like for any John Deere parts, I got to go 30, 40 minutes, just like you guys down
Yeah.
south.
Yeah.
But what kind of machines do you mainly run?
Toro, Bobcat, and Cat. So I have a Cat skid steer, some Toro mowers, some Bobcat mowers. I have a Caterpillar. Yeah, I said that, Cat skid steer. And then I've, you know, Ford trucks. I just got my fourth truck.
And I know you are kind of involved in some of the sponsorship realm with these vehicles.
Yeah.
How did you first go about getting your first sponsorship?
Well, I started posting on Instagram. That's my primary social media platform. Probably in 2017 or probably 2017. It's been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, maybe more. And I gained a little following because I was quite interesting. You know, I was 14, 15-year-old kid, maybe 16, who you could barely drive. I couldn't drive when I started. I think I was 14. People didn't like that. They're like, oh, you know, you gotta get a truck, you gotta get a trailer. Because I was like driving my mower to, you know, job to job, and I was like, look, my route's pretty dense. You know, that's why my route's so dense. Because I couldn't drive when I first started mowing. You know, I didn't want to take anything. There's too far of a mower ride. And you know, I gained a following, maybe 1,000 followers after the first year. Then I've just slowly grown over the last couple of years. You know, you get a video or two that does well, and probably when I was about 5,000 or 6,000 followers, I made contact with, you know, a company or two, Bobcat mowers before they were purchased by Bobcat company, you know, before they turned white. And that was my first, you know, partnership. And then, you know, I started working with a software company that I run my business on, and I just got various other partnerships, you know, over time. And I was always interesting because I'm so young. I was so young, teenager. It's a great, easy thing to market. I had a great followers. I have very engaged followers. and I think I do a pretty good job, and I'm pretty cheap compared to some of the other guys out there on the grand scheme of things. In the kind of I'm easygoing. I'm easy to work with. I don't take a lot of their time up negotiating stuff. We're on a great mutual respect basis, and one of my longest partnerships began in like October of 2018, and I still have a partnership with them. And yeah, so now I just hit like 22,000 followers yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty small still, but it's really helped me grow my business, and I've got a lot of great partnerships and really blessed. And I would not be where I was without them. And yeah, I just kind of right guy, right time. I mean, when I first started, and until like 2020, everybody was online a lot. With the pandemic, a lot of people started going online and watching satisfying lawn care content and watching DIY stuff and watching how to do it themselves. So I was kind of already established before that period of time when a lot of guys who were laid off started doing lawn care or landscaping, or started, firefighters started doing part-time gigs. And I was already on social media with maybe 5 or 10,000 followers by the pandemic. Probably, I think I was around 10,000. So I was reputable, and the lawn care community really developed since 2018. Was kind of like 2017, 2018. It was growing, and I was already a name at that point, and I was very young. So, and it was also I was also controversial because people didn't like how I did stuff. Like I'd pull a U-Haul trailer with my dad's car to get to do some mowing, or I had a truck with a dump insert, but I rented a trailer still because I didn't need to rent it. I didn't need to buy a trailer. And when I was younger, controversy kind of creates, gets you a little attention, but also the fact that I was young, it's like people couldn't believe it, and believe it or not, yeah, hard work does get you somewhere, right? So yeah, it's not been what they say, overnight success 10 years later. That's how it seems to some people, but yeah, it's kind of the story.
That's awesome. Where do you come up with new ideas for content?
Kind of like whatever I see when I'm out there, right? And it's all about like getting the footage of when I'm out there, whether it's my guys filming me or me filming them or whatever, and then putting it together on Reels. Instagram Reels changed the game because it has a real algorithm compared to videos before, where it basically just go out to your followers. Reels is almost like TikTok because it has a real algorithm. So it pushes it to people who like that content. When when you see like then you're scrolling and it knows you, it knows to push like satisfying longer content. I don't do that, but it's a big thing now. That's how it blew up, is because people who like satisfying videos or construction videos started to see like lawn mowing, tall lawns, or if you like, I just posted a video of leaf blowing with my stand-on mower. It's a big blower. It's blown up in the last day. It's 280,000 views, I think, or 250,000 views.
I saw that video.
Yeah, right?
That thing pushes leaves like no other. If you haven't seen this video, you have to go check out Christian's page right now and take a look at this leaf blower because it is insane.
Yeah, it's 7,800 CFM, so it's like 8 backpack blowers, 8 BR800s.
8 backpack blowers, hydraulically powered?
It's powered by the engine. It's got a like, it goes right to the clutch. So you got like a belt on the clutch, and then just powers the blower.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
so
incredible.
It's pretty sweet, and it works really well. So that video's done well, and it's all about like getting some nice viral video here and there. And I haven't had anything super viral. The most I've done is 2 million views in a video. I've had maybe 1 or 2 that hit 1 million. But a lot of guys will get something that goes crazy viral, like the edging. I don't know if you've ever seen like edging flower beds with the string trimmer, but it's all about like knowing what to do and putting like a nice, like a catchy beat over it, or something that's doing well. You just gotta kind of learn, kind of learn the algorithm, learn what works and what doesn't, trial and error, and also like kind of, for me, it's like the sounds, right? It's like, what sound am I put over like a catchy song or remix, a funny, sound. I don't do anything stupid, but like, whatever's kind of working, or things I just like. I just post stuff I like. Like I would watch that video, like, damn, like I would watch that again. That was a cool sound and a cool video. And the stuff I end up liking the most the content I produce myself that's not sponsored honestly does the best when they get like, or the sponsored content when they give me like, when they give me free reign. It's like, all right, here's this, or here's how much we're gonna pay you, and whatever, make a good video. And they don't say like how they want it structured. That's kind of does the best because I get free like reign. I can do kind of be really creative, and I had one last week that was a Steiner video. It did like 50 or 60,000. I had a couple in the last week that did that well. I had another Toro power broom video. It's done almost 180,000 views. So, and that's like them just like, they don't tell me what to do. They just say, look, here's this equipment, here's this, whatever. However, I get compensated. We expect you to post. And I post stuff and it does well because they understand like I know my thing, or at least I can try to do my best. So yeah, that's how you create great long-term relationships.
That's incredible. And even just going back, like you said, your first sponsorship started in 2017 or 2018 and you still have it today. Like it just goes to show your character, you're driven, you stick to it and you keep going. It's definitely contributes to your success with your business.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. It all kind of comes down to, as long as you got to provide a result for them. So as long as the companies are happy, you got to make sure that, whatever I'm doing is catering to them. So are they trying to sell? Are they trying to get followers to have a nice, like a real audience? Or are they just trying to get views on their product, which will eventually turn to sales? It all depends on like what they want to do.
How do you change your video content from getting views to getting followers?
Well, more viral videos that I kind of set up like that are more for views, getting eyeballs on this stuff, and not direct sales. And a lot of that's like for companies that have like dealers, right? Like they can't track my sales through dealers. But more direct to consumer companies are where I try to do my sales.
That's awesome. Definitely helps out, with the business, keeps it rolling, keeps new people coming in, and that really gives you a way to get, reach to impact the world ultimately.
Totally.
Have you found that your story and message through Instagram has, changed any people's lives or inspired people?
Yeah, I know, like for a fact, I could probably name like 5 to 10 people on the top of my hand that started businesses because of me, or were inspired, or, worked for me and then started business. But yeah.
That's incredible. Well, hey, Christian, this is about all the time we have for today. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It's been a good time. Nice to meet up again. Only second time I've ever met you, but I'm glad I'm local, and nice setup here, and hope all goes well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.